Praise the Lord, praise the Lord, praise the Lord. Greetings in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. We welcome you, welcome you, welcome you again to Greater Love Ministry, aka COP Asbury Park. We are so glad that you're with us on today, and we're so excited as we continue our series, The Seven Things That God Hates. Y'all, I am so excited for all that God is doing. I know this has been such a challenging week. I don't know about you, but I know that this is the fast that the Lord has chosen for us, because I'm telling you, it's been a warfare. It's been a fight in the realm of the spirit. Everything that could happen seemed like this past week the enemy tried to invade and attack. But guess what? He is defeated. Hallelujah. We are still victorious, and we claim the victory in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. I just want to encourage that even when you feel like them has come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord will lift up a standard against him. And so we declare the victory today. And I just want you to be encouraged on this week. Don't let this past week discourage you for what God is about to do, but let it be a witness of the glory and the victory you're about to have. And so we're just going to receive that. We're going to be excited today. But listen, today we're still continuing our series, and we're talking about the seven things that God hates. So we are on number 6, and I want you to grab your Bibles and go with me to the book of Genesis chapter 39. And we're going to talk today about being a false witness. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I don't know about you, but I've been guilty. You know, you've accommodated someone's lie. Mm-hmm. You said things that, you come in agreement with what somebody said that wasn't true. That's still a false witness. It's still a lie. But anyway, let's get into the scriptures. So Genesis 39 and 10, and starting at verse 10, this is what it says. And it came to pass, as she spake to Joseph day by day, that he hearkened not unto her, to lie by her, or to be with her. And it came to pass about this time that Joseph went into the house to do his business, and there was none of the men of the house there within. And she caught him by the garment, saying, Lie with me. And he left his garment in her hand, and he fled and got him out. And it came to pass that when she saw that he had left his garment in her hand, and was fled forth, that she called unto the men of her house and spake unto them, saying, See, he hath brought me a Hebrew unto us to mock us. He came unto me to lie with me, and I cried with a loud voice. And it came to pass that when he heard that I lifted my voice and cried, that he left his garment with me and fled and got him out. And she laid up his garment by her until the Lord came home. She spake unto him according to these words, saying, The Hebrew servant which thou hast brought unto us came unto me to mock me. And it came to pass, as I lifted up my voice and cried, that he left his garment with me and fled out. And it came to pass that when his master heard the words of his wife, which she spake unto him, saying, After this manner did thy servant to me, that his wrath was kindled. And Joseph's master took him and put him unto the prison, a place where the king's prisoners were bound, and he was there in the prison. But the Lord was with Joseph, and showed him mercy, and gave him favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison. My God. What a story. My God. Talking about the seven things that God hates, because a lot of times we don't even realize the thing that the enemy will do that will put you in a bad predicament, or bound you up, and feeling like, what a predicament to be put in when you're trying to do the right thing and a false witness is spoken against you. One of the most horrific things that I've ever experienced is when somebody's lying on you and you don't have a defense, or God won't let you speak out your truth. You don't get to defend yourself. You don't get to say your part. You don't get to shed light on the situation. But you know what? There are two things to examine here. You know what? Even if Joseph would have had a chance to go and say, hey, this is not true, this was a lie, she's after me, who would have believed Joseph? Here you have this beautiful woman who wants you, and now you're saying that she's not satisfied by her husband, that her life that he's given her is unfulfilled, that she would lower herself and her standards to go with a servant. Look at how it would look that Even if he tried to, this man that who had trusted his whole household unto his hand, this man who knew that he was honorable now, without a doubt judged him and punished him out the example, out the word of a liar, out of a manipulator. And you know what's sad? That many people have based decisions. They've judged other people. They've cut other people off. They make decisions about other people's character based upon a false witness because they don't even know the full story. That's why we have to be careful. We talked about last week being swift to run, to shed innocent blood. We talked about last week how you have to be careful when you run to share information and share things that are maybe not necessarily be true. This morning I got caught up and I read an article and it disturbed me so bad. But what I did do, I prayed. And it was an article about, Kirk Franklin, and it was about his son, and he was cursing his son, and they were cursing one another. That thing grieved my heart because the bond between a father and his son should be solidified. That should be nothing coming from a father and a son. The words to the father, he should never set the precedence. That's the conversation or the dialogue you should have with your son. And a son should not feel so degraded by his father that he feels like that's the only way to express himself back to him. It grieved me and it led me to a place, and I shared it with some people, not to just share gossip, but God, we have to pray because I just spoke on Wednesday night that we were living in perilous times. And I was talking about how we know we're in the last days because how people are unthankful, unholy, truth breakers, without natural affection, and all these things that it says there are signs. We talk about you'll know in the last days there'll be father against son and mother against daughter. And these are clear signs that we are living in the end times, not to spread, but to wake us up, to be alarmed that this type of behavior is not natural. This type of animosity that are existing in homes, that are existing in families is not natural. And so we have to go into this place called a prayer, that we really got to earnestly begin to pray ye for one another like never before. You don't have to know people. You ain't got to know where they are. You don't even have to know their story. But what you should know that when we hear things that are that disturbing, it should lead us to the prayer room to pray. Back to our story, in this story, if you would turn back with me here, and I just want to highlight a couple of things that were going on here. And it said it came to pass that she spake to Joseph day by day. See, let me tell you about a false witness. They're building their story about you. They ain't just going to come up with a lie just on one day. Day by day, they in their mind, they're setting the stage of what they're going to do to bear false witness against you. And the sad thing is always by unsuspecting people that you say, you're already in a better position. Why are you lying on me? You already achieved what you wanted, so why are you targeting me? But what you don't understand, that when the enemy sees you, he does see the anointing. When the enemy sees you, he sees your intellect, your creativity, he sees your greatness, and they become fearful of it. They want to harness it. When you refuse to compromise and come in agreement with what the false witness wants, then you become the enemy. They say that he hearkened not unto her to lie with her, by her, or to be with her. Now listen at this married woman trying to build a relationship with this single man like that. What kind of relationship we going to have when we're going to have to dip and dab and hide from your husband? What kind of future that you're trying to rob me of that I can have for myself by telling me, setting up a false alignment that you and I can have something greater than a booty call? There's nothing. It's not like she's going to be able to leave him and y'all going to go and be married and be this prosperous family. He's owned by this man. So there's no way he's going to go and be satisfied with y'all running off with his wife to a life of bliss and gleedness and happiness and excitement. But I want to tell you the foundation of the lie, a false witness start bit by bit, day by day, so you can catch the false witness before it becomes a full lie. Because sometimes these unsuspecting places where people are trying to engage you and behavior that's opposite of the lifestyle that you've chosen to live, it's the groundwork for the foundation of a false witness. She knows his stand. Everybody already knew who Joseph was. His stand of who he was and how his accountability of the type of man had already been established by the way her husband received him and entreated him and put him over the house. They can see that you are already a person who has favor. They can see that you're a person who understands and has responsibility. They can see that you're a person who is fair and balanced. Sometimes when people see those attributes, they don't know how to say, hey, I want to be a part. Hey, teach me. So what they do, they are attracted to your greatness, but they want to infiltrate and contaminate it with their filthiness, with their selfishness. Come on, let's go on with this scripture. And it said, it came to pass about this time that Joseph went into the house to do his business, and there was none of the men of the house there within. The enemy always want to catch you unprepared. In this time, what's happening to Joseph, he's saying, you know what? I'm not doing that. I'm not going to be a part of that. I'm going on about my business. But what Joseph had got to do was to be discerning. Sometimes you got to watch your steps. We talking about watch where your feet go. And we talked about last week, you need to watch your feet because you need to be very careful sometimes where we go because you don't know the witness that's being built against you. Joseph, just because you mind your business don't mean the enemy gonna mind his. Just because you try to do the right thing and say the right thing and be honorable, don't always assume that the enemy is gonna honor you. While he's doing his business, the enemy is plotting and strategizing a way to manipulate him to get what they want. The whole premise behind a false witness is that somebody wants you to do something that's against your moral or your spiritual stance. They want you to do something that you are unwilling to do, that they're unable to persuade you or influence you to do. Then they try to use manipulation to get you to do it. And when you won't do it, it's the judgment. So come on, let's go to verse 12. She caught him by his garment, saying, lie with me. And he left his garment in her hand and fled and got him out. For every temptation, the Lord provides a way of escape. But how about when you escape, you still punish? How about when you do the right thing, sometimes you still get punished? I want somebody to be encouraged because I've lived this. You can do the right thing and still get punished. I read this book one time, when good things happen, when bad things happen to good people. Sometimes we think if I do the right things, if I pray, if I pay my tithes and do everything, then nothing's going to happen. That's going to guard me. That's going to seclude me. If I'm fair to people and I don't mistreat people and I don't dog people, then it won't happen to me. There is no guarantee. Even when you do the right thing, God can still use you as an example of testing. The Bible said Job was a righteous man, upright man. He eschewed evil, but he still lost his children. He lost his wealth. He got sick in his body, but there's a recovery. Good God Almighty. I just want somebody to know who's been suffering, there's recovery. I want somebody to know who's suffering for wrongdoing, there's a recovery. I want somebody to know who's been dogged and been mishandled, been misused, that there is a recovery for you. I want you to know that it ain't going to always be this way. It's going to get better than it's ever been. Come on, somebody. It's going to be better than you could have even imagined. God's going to give you double for your trouble because he understands even the nature of your trouble, especially when you didn't ask for it. Especially when you didn't do anything to warn it. God gives extra when we go through. See, some of us, we've done things to warrant a level of persecution. We've done stuff to warrant a level of accusation. We've done stuff to warrant a level of, being falsely judged and looked at differently because we made unwise choices. I don't know why I got to say this. Sometimes we got to man up, or you got to be woman enough to say, you know what? Even as great as I am, as intelligent as I am, as wise as I am, I've made some bad choices. I made some unwise choices. Nobody didn't make me make those unwise choices. I just chose the wrong thing. Sometimes good and evil looking like identical twins, but sometimes they look like fraternal twins, and I still just chose it. See, it took me a long time to be honest enough to say, you know what? It wasn't always the devil taunting me. Sometimes it was me inviting the devil because I wanted to do certain things, or I wanted to behave in a certain manner, or I wanted to be able to act out in a certain way. And so I used my present circumstance to, facilitate a behavior that I had been waiting and anticipating to behave like. See, sometimes we got to be honest about our baseline of our character, because we all got character flaws. We all got things that we need to continue to work on. There are things that you have to keep up under the blood. There are things that you have to keep crucifying your flesh about, or you'll be out of. I know I have to keep telling myself, I'm not no whore. I'm not going to be no whore. I'm not going to sleep around. You got to keep bringing your flesh under subjection. I have to keep telling my tongue, I'm not finna lie. I'm not going to manipulate. I'm not going to mishandle people. You got to keep, there are things you got to keep under the blood. I have to say, I'm not going to get angry. I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to be explosive. I'm not going to use my tongue to hurt people and offend people and be sarcastic. Come on. There are things you got to keep under the blood and keep up under the word in order for you not to operate in that character flaw. I know y'all don't like me today, but I'm going to teach this today, because what we have to be real about, we got to quit acting like we're walking in perfection. Everybody got something, an area of their life that they got to keep crucifying their flesh. They have to keep dying to daily, because they can't afford for that thing to live. Because if that thing live, their life with Christ will die. If that thing live, they won't be who people think they are. If that thing don't die, they'll act, they'll behave, they'll act out, they'll do things that you wouldn't even look at them the same way about. And you got to be honest enough with yourself about who you really are, that you can bring those things to the altar and say, I got to watch that. Yee! Good God Almighty. Somebody need to be real with themselves today and say, I got to watch that. Flirting with other people's wives, I got to watch that. Flirting with other people's husbands, some of y'all need to say, I need to watch that. Being manipulative, you need to watch that. The spirit of addiction, you need to watch that. A lying tongue, you need to watch that. Perversion and pornography, you need to watch that. See, everybody got something that they know that they got to keep crucified under the blood. Some of y'all working witchcraft, you need to watch that. You know, you got the capacity to get mixed up in the black arts. You got the capacity to get mixed up in some black magic. You got the capacity to try to manipulate odds and want things a certain way, that you're desperate to be powerful, desperate to be famous, desperate to be rich, that you will compromise some things. You got to put it under the blood. You got to say, I have to watch the spirit of poverty. It wants me so bad that I'm willing to do anything not to be poor again. I got to keep it under the blood. You got to watch that, because your desperation not to be poor again, baby, it'll make you come out your character. It'll make you do things you couldn't imagine. But you got to say, I'm going to trust God and walk by faith, but I got to watch that. Whatever it is, baby, put it under the blood. Crucify your flesh. Be real with yourself about where you are and what you're dealing with, so you can watch that thing and keep that thing under the blood, that you can keep dying to that thing daily, so that the spirit of the living God in you can live and you can die to your flesh daily. Come on, somebody. I know you don't like it, but you got to watch that. It said, it came to pass that when she saw that he had left his garment in her hand and was fled for, what she did, he ran. And when she ran, she ripped the cloth and he just kept running. See, some of us, we'd have laid like, that thing back here. You know, we would have still tried it. If we feel like this is the thing, this is where you have to be real with yourself. This man had an earnest desire to live holy. Do you really want to live holy? You got opportunity to sin, but do you want to live holy? See, that's the question. Some of y'all would have laid with her thinking y'all could get a raise. Somebody would have labeled her to feel like you could have got more favor and had to do less work. You'd have manipulated the situation in your favor. And see, there was a time in my life I would have went for it. Not 30 years ago, not 20 years ago, maybe 5 years ago. You can get so desperate and feel you stuck in your life until you want a way out and you want things to improve and you want things to be better, that you start looking for a shortcut. You start looking for an alternative method. It's some people you went to school, you did the right things, you did your work, you got good grades, you did what you were supposed to do, and then you look at yourself and say, darn, that devil over there got a job, that devil over there got a job. Where's my job? I did it the right way. And you can get frustrated and the enemy try to present, say, oh, just do this. But I hear the Lord say, wait on him because it's going to be worth the wait. Ah, God, wait on the Lord. Hey, and be of good courage. I hear the Lord say, wait on the Lord and be of good courage, and he going to strengthen your heart. It's going to be worth to rejoice, my God. Woo! Tell your neighbor, God's about to do it real big. Yeah, good God Almighty. He's about to do it real big. Your wait is going to be worth the wait. The worth of what God's going to do is going to be worth the wait. The value of how God's going to do it and how he's going to bring you out as an example. Because see, somebody got to be the example. I waited on the Lord. I would have fainted. I would have gave up and quit it. But God. Come on, somebody scream, but God in your house. We wouldn't even be here today. We wouldn't be able to stand. We wouldn't be able to endure, but God. We wouldn't be able to be in the posture that we're in, but God. We couldn't even came this far by faith, but God. We would have quit everything, would have fell apart, but God, he came through for us. That same God who did it before, he gonna do it again. The same one that showed up for you in a way you couldn't even imagine. That you stick sometime and sit and say, Lord, even how you did it, I wasn't even worthy of it. It wasn't that I was that good or that holy. God, you just was just God. I'm so grateful. That same God, he's about to do it again. When we go to this story, we're still talking about the things God hated. We're talking about this false witness. It says when she seen that he had left it in her hand, the enemy always want a piece of evidence to make their story believable. See, behind every lie, there's an element of truth. There's an element of truth to it. And so what happens is that this element of truth that he had been in her company. See, the enemy going to find something that they can use that they know that all people have to see is a little evidence. All people have to do is just one little thing that they can say, yeah, that's right about, because they want to believe the worst about you. See, that's a hard place when you're trying to live right and people want to believe the worst about you. They want to believe that you, the worst are saying, the worst act you can do. Some of y'all, even in your family, you've had to endure it. Anything negative about you, they believe it. Anything bad that you said, they believe it. Any behavior that was negative, it was believable. But when they got to talking about the sing your praises, can't nobody believe that. When they talk about how you putting together, how you pressing on, everybody waiting on you to fall and fail. Everybody waiting to find out that it ain't right and it ain't true. Tell them, keep waiting. Yeah. Because you ain't seen nothing yet. But you ain't going to see it like you think you're going to see it. You're going to see the glory of God show up in a way that you haven't seen before. It's going to be spectacular. It's going to be great. It's going to be mighty because that's the kind of way the God we serve show up. But a false witness waiting to catch you because they want a big example. They want a big fall. They want a big, so they can say, I knew it. I knew they went, I've been waiting. Do you know that the false witness is waiting to accuse you? You have to watch people who sit and they waiting to say, you're not who everybody think you are. You're not that kind. You're not that loving. You ain't a good girl. Oh, they know you sleeping around. You ain't kept yourself that long. Somebody waiting because they can't believe it because they're incapable of being who you are. God Almighty. See, that's it. They're incapable of being who you are, so they can't believe that being who you are is even possible. Why they trying to look down at you, they really looking up to you because they know that your character, they may have more money in the bank, but you got more character. Their credit score may be more than yours, but you got more character. They may live in a better house in a better neighborhood, but you got more character. So no matter where they get, no matter what they drive, no matter how much money they got in the bank, they'll always have to look up to you. Good God Almighty. Come on, let's run through this story. It said, then she called the men of the house and spake to them, saying, see, he had brought a Hebrew unto us to mock us. Now look how she including everybody. See, let me tell you something about a false witness. They always need a crowd. They're never content with just going on a one-on-one. What she does, because she knows now that he don't prove I don't want you. And let me tell you something. The seed of a false witness is your rejection to them. When you reject them, this final rejection, she had been asking him, and he had probably been gently turning her down, because you watch your words when it's a person you're trying to respect and you're trying to give them honor. You don't just be like, no, you crazy? No. So he knew he couldn't just act out like that. So he was probably trying to be politically correct. But now it's down to the nitty gritty, and he has no other choice but to make a decision, a firm decision, to say, I can't take part in this. So once she found out this place of rejection for her was like, how dare this slave reject me? The other thing about a false witness, is probably ain't their first time doing what they're doing. Because if she felt the comfort level to go to the extent that she did, then it was probably something she had already done before. But this time, when people are rejected, it makes them, because they can't believe that it's true that you don't want them. They don't believe that it's true that you don't want no part of what they're doing. So what did she do? She go out to the other men and begin to say, he mocking us. See, they always a false witness want everybody to feel what they feel. Because she feels mocked. She feels betrayed. She feels belittled because he didn't accept her. So now she's trying to make everybody, to turn everybody against you. And that's what a false witness, I don't live this. They trying to turn everybody against you. Everybody who's respected you. Everybody who's loved you. Everybody who's giving you honor. Their job is to turn them, and any people who has the potential to respect you, to turn them against you. And so what she did, she said, he came in me to lie with me, and I cried with a loud voice. He gonna try to do this even while y'all around. He ain't even respecting y'all, and he supposed to be the boss. My husband done left him over here. He ain't even of us. He ain't even from our country. He a Hebrew. He an outsider. And now he over y'all, and now he done came in here and tried me. He tried to rape me, and I had to scream. And when he seen I scream, see, you know it. Look, I got his shirt. So you know I ain't lying. Learn how to discern a lie. We don't know how to discern a lie from the truth. You got to listen and say, Let me tell you something. People tell me, I said, baby, I know what a lie sounds like. Because you know why? Because I know how truth sounds. And I said, I don't believe that. You can talk from now until 2029, and I still be like, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Because if it got an element of a lie in it, it ain't going to sound pure. You got to train and discern your ears to hear the truth. Because you know when you don't hear the truth of God's word, everything don't line up with this. Yeah, you know it's a lie. Everything don't come in agreement. You say something about it. It could be they don't left something out. They don't twisted something. They don't reverse the word. But it ain't the truth. Because let me tell you, in this hour, if you don't learn to discern the truth, you're going to fall for a bunch of lies. You hear what I'm saying to you? This person, let me take my glass off. If you don't discern the truth, you're going to fall and be taken for a lot of lies. There's a lying spirit running rampant in the land. And it's going to paralyze the lives of people. Lives are going to be ruined this year behind lies. Y'all don't hear me, but this is the truth before Jehovah God. Lives are going to be ruined behind lies. And if you don't discern the truth, you're going to fall prey to it. See, that's why we got to watch where we step and watch our movement. Because there's some things that are avoidable. Some things we got to be honest, we get ourselves in. Out of curiosity, out of boredom, out of, I need something to do, or that seems innocent, ain't nothing to that, I'm free, the universe said, all of that foolishness. Some places the Holy Ghost gonna be like, it's just gonna be a check. It ain't gonna be no robo shianda. It's gonna be like, not today. Don't go. Don't answer that. Don't respond to that. Leave that right there in the box. Don't even go. Don't even open it up. See, there's some things you got to be sensitive enough to not today. Because there's some things you can take one day will be detrimental to you another day. So you got to be discerning. There's some things like, I'm not ready to hear that. They say, your part. I said, I know, I see it. Not now. Because I know where I'm at spiritually. I'm spiritually discerned. I know where I'm at. And some things I can't listen to. I can't hear right now. I don't need to be thrown off. I don't need to be distracted. This thing don't need to get the best of me. So right now, I have to discern, not right now. Let me go pray. Let me get myself together. Let me bring my mind in. Now I can deal with this. A false witness always got a fake cry. And they always loud. It said, and it came to pass that when he heard that I lifted up my voice and cried, he left his garment with me and fled and got him out. Now they got to stage this thing. The enemy always have a stage of how this thing gonna play itself out. Gonna make it visual so you can see it so it can be believable. See, that's how you know one thing about a false witness. They're gonna paint a picture a certain way, and it's always extra. You didn't hear me, nobody heard her holler, but she screamed so loud, but nobody didn't hear. See, you got to check the story. Come on, y'all. So when he ran out, why do you run and tell us? Why you wait this time before you telling us now? See, a false witness always waiting because they got to get over their anger to get their story together. Or how they going to put this thing together. Because they're dealing with their shame or rejection. So she's trying to make them think they heard something. Did you hear me holler? Remember? You didn't hear me? I was screaming. No, I didn't hear me. You ain't as loud as I was. Remember when you came from around there, when I saw you and you looked at me and I looked distressed, I had just got through screaming. And if you're not careful, you'll be seduced and allured into like, yeah, recalling something you ain't even experienced. Come on, y'all, it don't happen. People done fell victim to this, and then they done build a narrative that was never there. He left his garment and fled and got him out. He got away. How he got away? He right there in the same house he was staying in. He in the same place he been living in. He didn't change places. It ain't like he left the state. If he did this horrible thing to you, he would have fled. You say he ran. Why would he stay? But what I like, the integrity of Joseph, he didn't tell nobody what happened. He didn't defend himself. Because God said, if you fight, I quit. That's a hard place, y'all. I lived that. When God tell you if you fight, he quit. Don't you say nothing. Don't defend yourself. You just got to take it. It's going to build something in you. Besides tears and want to rage. It'll build something in you. Because God can't just anoint you to talk. He has to anoint you to shut up. He has to anoint you to be quiet. He has to anoint you to not always defend yourself. Then you can say, I know the Lord is my defense. He's my high tower, and I run into him and I'm safe. You will learn that he's your buckler and your shield. He's your high tower. He's your help in your time of trouble and distress. And when you call upon his name, he show up for you. The story goes, she laid up by his garment by her until the Lord came home. Now now you got to lay with the garment. Dramatic. A lie is always dramatic. A false witness is always dramatic. Now you don't laid up with this garment. You can't even, you just holding his garment. You probably trying to keep the sin of Joseph. That's what you really was. But you playing like you just had to keep it because it's proof that he tried to take me. Because you got to make it seem like you are, you're devastated. A false witness is always a great actor or actress. Because they got to demonstrate that they just so perplexed and they don't understand why this happening. They just overwhelmed. Because the more excited they become, the more hyped the person who's non-discerning becomes. the less time they thinking about. Because if you think about something, you're like, that don't make sense. If you really think about it, you'll be like, something off about this. Because what they want to do, they want you to be impulsive in your decision. Because if you ever sit down and operate in wisdom, you'll say that's not their character. I've never known them to behave like this before. And they don't want to be questioned, because then you'll begin to ask them questions. And because there's a lie, one thing about a lie, you talk to them long enough, you'll trip them up. That's why God hated, because you know why he hated? Because he hates the impact they have on others who can't discern truth. The reason why God hates this is because it's some people got to pay for being a false witness because of the lives you're supposed to touch or people you're supposed to connect with that have been hindered, that has been hampered. The blood will be upon their hands because of a lie that they believed because of a false witness. Come on. The Bible says she spoke on him according to these words, saying, the Hebrew servant, look, listen to the lie, that thou hast brought unto us, came unto me to mock me. Now, all the time he don't been in the house. This man don't have a liberty. This wasn't the first time his master don't been out the house. Because the Bible said that Joseph had charge over the whole house. He gave him charge over the whole thing, that nothing that he didn't leave in his hand. So it wasn't like this was something new. So, but all of a sudden now, he want to rape her. Because he came into the house, meaning he was used to coming in and out to handle business for his master. But this time, he want to rape her. This time, he sees her and, oh my God, she just looked so much like she never looked before. She was just so delicious looking. You know, she just, oh my God, she just been where he just could never see before in her. Now she making the lie personal. And she's saying he came in to mock me. Now, she first went to get the crowd stirred up so she can have a witness to go along. Because let me tell you what a thing about a liar. They know that they word alone don't have enough liberty. So what they do, they look for credible people that they know who will tie in. Because let me tell you something about a husband and wife. If you married to somebody, you know they habits, you know they be lying. You be like, child, they lying. I know I was married to a liar. I'm telling you. I know. Yeah, Yana used to lie all the time. She just did, you know. She was a nice person in some areas, but she had a lying spirit. And I said, you got to kill all that lying. God, you know, you done coughed up that devil about 20 times and you going to swallow them again. Like, Lord, how many deliverance you going to have from a lying spirit? So, you know, when you have that level of intimacy, you know when your spouse is lying. So then that's why she had to go get other people to validate what she was saying, because a spouse already know when your habits, your inclinations to lie or to be dishonest. So she knew it wasn't going to be enough. That's why she went out to the men and told them he mocking us. But when she go to her husband, she said he mocking me. Now, why would he be mocking? Why would she say he mocking us as a husband and wife team? But you gonna go to other men and tell them he mocking them? Because it don't have nothing to do with them. It'll be mocking you and your husband, because your husband won't put him in this position. He trying to violate a place that your husband gave him, but you don't use us with your husband. You say me. But to the other men, you say he's mocking us to get them to buy into it for your credibility. See, a false witness know they don't have no credibility. They already know people know they got inclination and lie to be dishonest. So they know that they got to go gather other people to validate them, because they word alone ain't enough. See, you need to watch people who got to get 10 witnesses with them to come and talk to you. Y'all don't want me to help y'all today. You say, baby, you got to get, if you can't come alone, you already know something. Hey, come on, didn't I? You be like, child, because you know I don't believe you, right? So you know, yeah, we after that spirit. And it came to pass, as I lifted up my voice and cried, that he left his garment with me and fled out. Somebody scream a lie. A lie know how to make this thing sound so good. It make that thing sound so true. It's some experts at it. But you have to look at how they generate and how they lay the groundwork for it and how they utilize it and get free. Because you can be free. You know, even if you were just known as a liar, you can be free. I know people who are ex-liars. They used to lie. They was perfected at it. They thought you was on their deathbed. They rose up like Lazarus. But honey, God will heal you from that. And the witness is nobody even remembers when they was a liar. That's how you know God done did in your life, because nobody even associates you with what you were known for. That's how you can say, honey, I know God real. Because who you used to be, who you can be, who you need to be, is free from that hold of that lie. Because let me tell you, after a while you lie, you're going to be a false witness, and you're going to lie and come in agreement with other people's lies. See, you shouldn't be the one people like, oh, I'm going to tell them I was over your house, okay? And you be like, oh, okay. No, don't tell them you was over my house. Listen, let me tell you something. This is a story about Pastor Lincoln. Pastor Lincoln used to live with me and my kid's mother, my first wife. We was all together, and so it was a girl that liked her. She taught at this high school, and this girl liked Pastor Lincoln. She was a senior. Pastor Lincoln was young then. I think he was 20. Girl like 18. And so we had two phone lines. We had I had a line for my house, and I had a line for my office. So I had two lines in the house. I picked up the house phone, and I hit Lincoln. Hey, what's going on? I said, who is this? So I'm listening, and it wasn't Risha. So I listened. Then I hung the phone up. Risha, Lincoln was on the phone. Yes, I told it. You do it. You bold enough, devil. Don't lose this spirit in my house, because I know what it's on me, and I know what I deal with. So I went right and told it. Because if you do it with me, I would tell it. I tell people, don't do your dirt in front of me, because I am the tattletale. Don't do it in front of me. I will not cover your sin. You do it, I will tell. Yes, I will. Ask my kids. They know I would tell, baby. It don't matter who you are. I would tell your business. Don't do it in front of me. And it's wrong. Don't cheat on your husband, your wife. I would tell. If you commit in a relationship and I see you do something, I will tell. Yes, I will tell. No, that ain't right. Yeah, it is right. Because guess what? If you on me, go ahead and tell them and cut it off and go on about your business. Don't do your dirt in front of me, because I will tell it. Because I'm not going to be no witness to your mess. I ain't finna be no false witness. Then I see y'all cut up and acting like I don't know what's going on. I can't do it. I don't take part in it. You go over there, do your shit. Don't tell me that's your business. And I'm going to be over here, man. It's different things that I'm a pastor and you come and say, hey, you know, I broke my covenant. But I'm going to say, you need to tell her. You need to tell her what you did. I'm not going to tell her in no instance like that. But if my friend and you do something, yeah, I'm going to tell. I tell them, listen, I'll tell it. My sister and brother will tell you, he will tell. Who did so and so? I'm not getting no whooping for nobody else. From a child. Who tore that up? You got 5 seconds to tell it, or I will. Leonard! I will scream your name out, baby. I'm not getting no whooping. That thing transient right in the spirit. I'm not getting no whooping. I'm not getting in trouble with God to keep your mess. Hallelujah. What I'm saying, y'all, we can't be a false witness to things that are not right. People have to work out their own situation with fear and trembling in the Lord. But there are things that people want you to come in agreement that's against your stand as a believer. I'm not, as a believer, I'm not coming in a stand with you while you're cheating. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not coming in agreement with manipulating and lying on your taxes. I don't want to know nothing about it. You want to do that? Keep that over there. Don't bring me into that and want me to be a witness and want me to lie and want me to act. No, I'm not doing it. It said it came to pass when his master heard the words of his wife, what she spake of him, saying, after this manner did the servant to me, that his wrath was kindled. She said it to stir him. Let me get you mad. Let me get you angry. Let me get you frustrated. Because guess what? When you're in a rage, you're not thinking. I can't get no help in him. See, when you can't think that it's a distraction. Your anger becomes your distraction. You can't think about what's really happening. See, that's why we got a couple of more scriptures we're going to run through, because I need you to understand this thing about a lying spirit. But I want to set the precedence with a story so you can see what a lying spirit, how it manifests in a story. Come on, verse 20. And Joseph's master took him and put him into prison, a place where the king's prisoners were bound, and he was there in the prison. Somebody lie can send somebody to jail. Do you know there are people sitting behind bars right now in 2021 behind a lie somebody told? A false witness, a lie. It's so many people that in prison being not suing the state, suing the government because somebody got there on the stand. People think that everybody don't consider the Bible sacred. Time to put your right hand on the Bible, lift up your left. That don't mean none of them. If you lie, baby, you lie on the Bible, you lie on the Quran, you lie on Confucius, ISIS papers. It don't matter what. If you lie, you just a lie. It don't matter what the papers are. I can't fool with you. It don't matter what the papers are. It don't mean nothing to you. Can you imagine? You bound behind somebody's lie. And you don't say a word. But tell somebody, but God. But the Lord was with Joseph and show him mercy. When God know you being, he'll show you, and they'll be so mad, like, why you not destroyed? Because let me tell you, a false witness, their whole scheme is they want to see you fail. They want to see your life fall apart. And they get so angry that nothing happened to you. They want you to be judged harshly. They want you to lose everything. They want your life to be chaotic and crazy. And when they see you blessed, it drives them crazy. Just don't say that. Just live. Just live and watch the mercy of God show up. And gave him what? Favor. That's what they hate you by. See, the whole thing is about your favor. They've been hating you about your favor the whole while. He had favor. That's why they don't like you. They don't understand how you're able to manipulate. How you still doing? How you still doing good? How you still got your house? How you still got your car? How you still looking good? How you still growing? How you still traveling? How? What's going on? You know, sometimes people don't understand you still going on and doing things that you weren't even doing before when things were even better with you. You doing even more. And they're trying to figure it out, and they're trying to look at you and wonder how you going here and what's happening there. And they don't know it's just a favor of God resting on your life, that God is opening doors that no man can shut, shutting doors that no man can open. They don't know creating ways for you out of no way, and they are upset, frustrated, irritated, can't understand how because you were not their choice to advance without their aid or support. But God. And that's what God will do. He'll give you favor. Now we got a story of a false witness. Now let's find out the character. Turn with me, Proverbs 14:5. It said, a faithful witness would not lie, but a false witness will utter lies. See, one thing you got when you faithful, you ain't gonna lie. See, that's what people understand. My faithfulness ain't to people, it's to God. And see, we have to really set a precedence that, yes, I'm faithful to you. Yes, I love you, but my first commitment is to God. And if you care about me, don't make me compromise who I am to accommodate your friendship. My relationship shouldn't be based upon my ability to lie to you. But he said a false witness will utter lie. Let me tell you something about a false witness. When they lie one time, they're going to keep lying. They got to keep the lie going and keep lying. Even though they know it's a lie, it can be eating them away, but they'll keep that lie going and keep that lie going. But see, what the false witness don't know, the liar don't know, God see the truth, and God will open up people's eyes to see the truth, and they'll be like, When I tell you people don't came back to me, I just want to let you know God showed me. I'll be like, you're a lie. I didn't showed you nothing, lying. But when people find that you didn't fail, and they find that your life don't fall apart, and they find out and they see you prospering and growing, they see God still, his hand is still on your life, then they look and be like, that other person, they lying, and they look at their life. Because what happened, God, you see Joseph, he just going to keep moving. Imagine the look when they find out that Joseph is the second in command of the whole country. Imagine the look that they had. The wife who don't lie. I know he looked at many times, you lied. I know he went back and as he seen him He couldn't have got that. Only God could do that. Come on, let's go to Exodus. Exodus 20 and 16 say, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. God said these things all the way down in the Ten Commandments. He went all the way back talking about lying. I'm telling you, you go all through the Bible. God hates a liar. He said every liar shall have a place in the lake of fire. God hates from the Genesis all the way to Revelation. He keeps talking about this same spirit about lying and being a false witness. Y'all got to stop lying. Stop. You know, we got to speak truth to people in love, but we got to speak the truth. We got to deal with it. God wants us to be liberated and be free. We got to quit running from lies and face the truth. Come on. Deuteronomy 5 and 20. Neither shall thou bear false witness against thy neighbor. Who is the neighbor? You. I'm your neighbor. You my neighbor. We ain't just talking about people who live next door to you. It's talking about people you know, you come in contact with. Did you see them come in late? You didn't. You was in the bathroom. You didn't see them come in late. That's a lie. But I'm telling you, you can get seduced into lying about something that's so simplistic. One of my spiritual sons went through something at work where they were lying. But I told him, I warned him. I said, listen, be careful. He told me about a person at his job. I said, just be careful. Because sometimes you have to be careful around people who say certain things. Watch people's words and you'll know who to be careful around. And sometimes you have to guard your words and watch your actions around people sometimes because they got another agenda. But he went through something. He found this person was lying. This person was making about him, trying to bear false witness against him. And see, it's so subtle. All they have to do is tell one lie. Because one thing about a liar they build credibility in the minds of people as somebody who knows what they're talking about, or somebody who has inside information. And they use that to gain influence so that what they say is believable because the person they lying on don't have no idea they're being lied about to come to their defense. So by the time the person find out, it's already ingrained in the mind of the person who they've been speaking against. So it wouldn't matter what you say, it will hold no precedence. Because they've convinced and they've used their influence to show them whatever they said to believe to be true, that is valid. Watch your step in the next couple of months. Come on to Proverbs. Proverbs 19 and 5 said, a false witness shall not be unpunished, and he that speaketh lies shall not escape. Let me tell you something. This is what kept me. A false witness shall not be unpunished. Listen, I went through, let me tell you something. My ex-wife, she lied. I was so hurt by the lies, but I just had to take it. But you know what? And when I heard she got shot, and they called me to pray, I had to get over myself. I said, pray? Child, stop me from laughing. I'm just being real. I know y'all want me to be deep. But I was like, I'm not praying for that devil. And the Holy Ghost said, yes, you are. You are. Come out yourself. Crucify your flesh, crucify your emotions, and pray. And that's what I did. And I meant the prayer. I had to cry before I prayed because I was angry. Because sometimes the position that God puts you in as a believer, that you have to really come out of yourself. You have to live what you preach. You got to live what you taught. You got to live what you said. You got to live what you prayed. You got to live what you read. I had to come all the way out of myself and do what Jesus would do. That's why you got to be saved. Because when you save, baby, you can put aside your emotions. You can put aside your anger. You can put aside any thoughts of revenge or whatever. Because you can still not rejoice in another man's calamity. I don't care what they did to you. I don't care how dogged and how bad. You cannot get happy when other people's lives are being destroyed or torn down because it makes you just like them. I prayed. I sure did. But then the misconstruction is that she thought after I prayed, then I was interested. That was crazy to me. Interested in what, honey? Not you. You can't be that delusional. Now, I prayed because that's what Jesus requires of me. And I forgave you because that's what Christians do. But getting back to you is what Leonards don't. That's just the way it is. Leonards don't go backwards. Come on here. And he that speaketh lies shall what? Shall not escape. Listen, quit getting upset because it seems like people who do wicked devices, it just seems like they get away. They are not going to. Everything they did to you, they got to pay. That's why you make sure you're not the false witness. And if you've been the false witness, lift up your hands and say, Lord, forgive me right now. I've been a false witness. I've been a liar. But God, I want to be redeemed, God. Wash and cleanse me of all unrighteousness for your name's sake, God. Let me speak truth to my neighbor, God. Let me speak the truth in love, God. Forgive me. Y'all, this is what we do when we're wrong. Quit trying to act like you ain't never been a false witness or that you never lied. Just tell the truth and repent and tell God to forgive you and restart again. Just say, God, I've done it. I've been wrong. Whether it was intentionally, unintentionally, I repent. I'm not going to act like I'm never. See, let me tell you something. I've been a false witness. I've covered people's lies and came in agreement with stuff. So I reaped what I sowed. I just didn't know it was going to come back like that. But the God I serve still redeemed me. But you won't escape. That's unless you repent. Your only escape is repentance. You gotta repent, y'all. Y'all know I keep saying, y'all, you need to be saved. And if you listen, you on the sound of my voice, you need to give your life to the Lordship of Jesus Christ. There's no other way. There's no other option. I'm not going to tell you give your life to the universe. I'm not going to tell you there's a universal God. I'm not going to tell you Allah. I'm telling you Jesus Christ, he is the way, the truth, and the life. And no man can come through the Father but by him. You need to come to Jesus. I'm not going to tell you to come to any other God or any other way. You got to come by way of the blood. Yeah. What can wash my sins away? Nothing but the blood of Jesus. What can make me whole again? Nothing but the blood. I'm telling you, it's the blood that can wash you. You got to come in, you got to surrender, and you got to confess that he's Lord. Call upon his name, he'll save you. I'm a witness. Come on, somebody. Proverbs 19:9. A false witness should not be unpunished, and he that speaketh lies shall perish. He made that thing back to back. You better stop. He said you will not be unpunished. You're going to perish. It's a setup for you. Let me tell you something about a lie. The enemy will make you think that there is no end to your line, that you're never going to get caught, you're never going to get found out, you're going to take it to your grave. Honey, somebody dig you up and expose you. They'll dig you up to expose you, baby. That's how much you won't get away with a lie. That's the extent people will go. I'm telling you. So just repent and tell God, God, teach me to speak the truth. Say, God, I'm prone to lie. I come from a line of liars. God, I like the feeling of a lie. But God, teach me to love the truth like I love the lie. Come on, let's go to Proverbs 21. A false witness shall perish, but the man that heareth speaketh continually. That's why sometimes you got to stop talking so much. Because sometimes in talking, you'll end up lying. You will. Not until like, oh yeah, I'm a billionaire. Oops. I was joking. That's another we cover up a lie with a joke. I was teasing. Nah, I didn't know I was playing. No, you wasn't playing. Till you found out I didn't believe it. you start playing when you found out I didn't believe it. As long as you thought I was believing it, you was like, oh yeah. Like, no, stop. My my assistant in South Africa, they took the bus. I helped them. They took the bus from South Africa to Tanzania. It was like a 3-day bus ride, but it took them like a week to get there. Because it took them like a week to get there because they was closing the border. They had to wait on the bus and everything. And they finally got there. And, I was like, Lord have mercy, Lord. I'd have turned back. But they was determined. They was like, no, Papa Bear, we was not going. We told you we was going to be there. We was going to be there. I said, child, I'd have sent a note and saying, I'm sorry. Send a raven to tell you that I could. But they came on. So when they got back, my assistant, I had fired him. My intern, I fired him before he came. So when he got back, he was like, yes, like I took 3 trips. I went to Tanzania, I went to Zambia, and I went to Zimbabwe. You know, this past year, it was a remarkable experience. I said, that's a lie. I said, why you lying? You went on 1 trip, 1 bus ride that went through all 3 countries. You did not go on 3 different trips. That's a lie. And he kept deleting my comments. Well, don't include my name. Don't put at Clavon Leonard. No, don't include my name in no lie. I say, listen, either take my name out the lie, because I'm going to keep responding. Like, no, don't include my name on that lie. You know, it was 1 bus trip that took a week. Showing all these glittery things, like, you know, pictures of the hotel. He like Frederick. Instead of Frederick, he's Fred Rich. I said, Lord, folks just be lying, Lord. I just keep me out the lie, Lord. Have mercy. I have enough time to keep my own stuff out of the lie. I don't need nobody else trying to put me in one. Come on, y'all. We got 2 more scriptures. He that speaketh truth showeth forth what? Righteousness, but a false witness deceit. When you speak the truth, you show your righteousness by the truth that you speak. But when you're a false witness, all you showing people is that you're deceitful. You're manipulative. And then but you know what I learned about liars? They get mad when you don't believe them. You don't believe me? I can't believe you don't believe me. You don't believe me? No. But I can't believe you don't believe me. But I'm telling the truth. We don't even know what truth sounds like out your lips. How? And I mean, they be all the way mad. You be done just call them in a lie, and then the next time they tell you something true, and they be like, why? I can't believe you don't believe me. And I just be like, huh? You just got caught in a lie, and you wondering why I don't believe you? I don't believe why you even believe you. Like, Lord have mercy, Lord, help us. But a false witness deceit. See, let me tell you something. Even being deceitful, manipulative, is a foundation of a false witness and a lie. You have to watch all of that. Come on, our last scripture. This is how he ends in Revelation chapter 21. But the fearful, the unbelieving, the abominable, the murderers, the whoremongers, and sorcerers, and adulterers, and all liars, white lie, black lie, small lie, big lie, blue lie, red lie, shall have their part. And the lake which burns with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. He let you know no matter what reasons you lied for, you're going to have your part in this lake. Stop lying. So from Genesis to Revelation, God keeps telling us he got an issue with your lying. When you going to have an issue with it? Just speak the truth. And if you're a liar, repent. If you've been a false witness, we repented earlier, repent again. Y'all, it's okay. It's not okay to stay the way you are. It's not okay to continue a lifestyle that displeasing to God, to your family. It's the damage. I talked about it's the damage. I didn't even say the title. It's the damage of a lie. This lie damages somebody's economics, their household, their name, their reputation. A lie and a false witness cause more damage than you will ever know. So I just want to encourage you to tell the truth. Don't be a false witness. Don't be a part. Don't be the 8th thing that God hates. Like Brandon said in the video, don't be the 8th thing that he hates. Let's be truthful. Let's be honest. And in this time, let's pray. This week, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I'm not sick. I'm feeling great in my body. Thank you for those who prayed for me. I did take the vaccination. I want to encourage you, take the vaccination. I did get sick. You know, it was rough, but I still believe it's the right thing to do. I don't want to make anybody else sick, especially when I see my 80-year-old mother. I want to make sure that I'm not carrying anything to her to make her sick. Sometimes it ain't just about us, but it's about people that we love. I went and I couldn't see none of my babies. I went to Charlotte because I didn't want to jeopardize anything taken to them. So I wasn't going to, as bad as I wanted to see them, I didn't see any of them because I said, I dare not put any of them in jeopardy. I love them too much to jeopardize them. So I'll be glad, this is my second week. I'll be done. My second week, then I'll be free to travel and tell people and love on them and kiss my babies that I ain't seen and hug them up real good. And so I'm excited. But I do want to tell you, if you can take the vaccination, take it for the people in your life that you love. Amen.